Hello, my name is Krista Mullins, a program consultant in the Office of Assessment and Accountability. Welcome to the Inclusions of Special Populations Training 703 KAR 5:070. This is Module 2 of 7 that make up this training series. This training must be completed prior to providing accommodations for any state-required assessments. Please ensure to review all 7 modules for the complete training. Module 2 of this training looks at the various accommodation conditions identified in the Inclusion of Special Populations Regulation. In the notes section of this slide, there are specific comments made about conditions 1 through 7. You will also note the page location for each condition where it can be found in the regulation. Please reference the regulation for information specific to these conditions. Number 1, school staff must make available to the student accommodations used consistently as part of routine instruction and classroom assessment, but may not instruct their students on when to use accommodations. Proctors may review with the student the accommodations in their IEP, 504 plan, or PSP. Remind students that proctors are there to provide the accommodations and revisit this information at the beginning of each test session. Students have the right to decline use of an accommodation. If a student has adult-provided accommodations, example, reader or scribe, or assistive technology, the adult or technology shall be in the testing room prior to testing and shall remain there during the testing period. Number 2. Accommodations for some students may be considered transitional strategies and should be faded as appropriate and as the student gains the skills necessary for an independent level of academic performance. Page 5 and 25. Number 3. Accommodations shall not impact the content validity being measured. Accommodations outlined in this document are considered appropriate for state-required content assessments when the accommodations are administered according to the directions in this document. Number 4, accommodations shall be age-appropriate and clearly described in the student's IEP, 504 plan, or PSP. Number 5, accommodations shall be for the purpose of students accessing the general education curriculum. Accommodations allow students to demonstrate what they know and can do independently. Accommodations shall in no way lead the student to the correct answer. Number 6, accommodations shall be based on the individual needs of the student and not on a disability category. Number 7, accommodations are not a substitute for high-quality instructional practices. In the notes sections, there are specific comments made about conditions 8 through 13. You will also note the page location for each condition where it can be found in the regulation. Please reference the regulation for information specific to these conditions. Number 8, evaluation information and ongoing progress data should support the need for accommodations in the specified area of need. Number 9, accommodations shall be part of the student's ongoing instructional program and not introduced immediately prior to the state-required content assessments. Number 10, caution shall be used prior to making IEP, 504 plan, or PSP changes related to accommodations near or within the state-required content assessment window. Changes may occur based on the time an annual meeting is to occur. It is important that any change made is supported through data and evidence. Number 11, the use of technology shall be the first accommodation considered before adult accommodation, example, reader or scribe, if feasible. A shortage of workstations, software, physical space, or training shall not be used as a reason for failing to provide assistive technology as an accommodation. Number 12, to ensure student needs are met, test administrators and parties involved with testing the student shall be informed of all accommodations of the most recent version of the student's IEP, 504 plan, or PSP prior to state-required content assessments. Number 13, Changes in the administration of the assessment or recording of student responses shall be consistent with the services identified on the student's IEP 504 plan or PSP. This allegation prevention best practice tip is to make sure when a plan changes near the time of testing that it is documented well in the conference summary and that there is evidence that supports the change. Also, anytime a change to a plan is made, especially close to test time, everyone involved with testing that student needs to be made aware of those changes made. It might be in the best interest to conduct a special meeting to discuss those plans before moving forward with any additional assessment practices. Check for understanding section 2. Question 1 says, the notes to the slides in this training contain clarifying information. Where can you find a detailed breakdown of each condition for Part 2 of the Inclusion of Special Populations training? A. Regulation 5:070 on page 49. B. Notes section slides 11 and 12. C. Appendix P. And D. Both A and C. The correct answer is B, found in the notes on slides 11 and 12. There is no page 49 in the Inclusion of Special Populations regulation or an Appendix P provided. Question 2 reads, a student's plan should never be changed near or during a testing window. True or false? The correct answer is false. Plans can change at any time as long as they are supported by data, evidence, and everyone involved with testing is made aware when those changes occur. Based on a year-to-year rotation, an annual meeting is specific to the date it is supposed to be conducted. Sometimes these dates occur around testing windows at the end of the year. Question 3 says, an educational plan, which is referencing an IEP 504 or program service plan, should always be based on a need and not a disability. True or false? The correct answer is true. Any plan should be based on an individual need, the need of the student, and never on a specific disability type. Question 4. Why is it encouraged to fade an accommodation over time? A. Student independence. B. Plan is outdated. C. Parent refusal. And D. Due process. The correct answer is A. Student independence. Question 5. Changing a plan for testing purposes only is always wrong and can often lead to the student performing poorly on the test. True or false? The correct answer is true. This concludes Module 2 of 7 of the Inclusion of Special Populations training. Please review all 7 modules to complete the training. If you have any questions about anything we discussed, please feel free to contact our office by emailing dacinfo@education.ky.gov or by calling 502-564-4394.